So why hasn't the Biden administration solved our problems with supplies? Why do we still have a supply chain issue in this country? Well, there's a lot of reasons behind it. There's a lot of ways we got there. Joining us to talk about it is Rick Manning, president of Americans for Limited Government. Seems to me the supply chain problems are not really solvable by just about any government at this point, are they?
Well, I think they're partially solvable when the Biden administration has put themselves squarely in the middle of creating a lot of the problems that are exacerbated by the travel between the Chinese shutting down their manufacturing at various points in time. But here's some things they can do. I think it's really important if they pull kind of a focus on trying to get this problem solved. I think they could at least be part of the solution. They need to pull their head away from the focus on the environmental shutdown, the Green New Deal shutdown, because effectively their war on energy has become a problem in terms of our trucking industry, in terms of our rail industry, and the like, and that's a big problem. And they need to do that. They could use the Defense Production Act to reopen some of there's been 6 different refineries that were shut in the last 5 years. Those refineries that are still available to be reopened could be reopened, 2 in the last year. And a lot of that's because ethanol credits have driven small refineries out of business. They can allow for RINs credits to be wiped away temporarily and allow for small refineries to not to have to do that, have to go through that process to deal with ethanol in order to increase production. So
it seems to me
right away on the refinery end.
It seems to me, what you're saying basically is it's so easy to just say, oh, it's a supply chain problem. Blame it on the Chinese. It's like blaming everything on Putin. I mean, you cannot make asphalt without petroleum products. You cannot build a road out of concrete unless you've got the diesel in order to mine the gravel in order to do that. The infrastructure bill is stymied because of the high price of things, and it all goes back to energy, which is what allows us to produce anything in this country. It's not just the matter of trucking it to us from China.
No, absolutely. That's exactly right. So their energy policy, a change in their energy policy would have a real impact. The fact is we've got over 250,000 acres that are out of production in terms of farm. Those are all held in a conservation trust. They could open up the conservation trust and allow those acres to be farmed. Now, that doesn't do anything for this year because they didn't do it this year, but it would do something for next year and create more energy and food security. So there are things that they specifically control that they could do that they're not doing. And that's where the gripe is. That's where the problem is. And to show how far out of touch they are in energy, they went to the meeting with the top leaders in the world, the G7 meeting in Europe, thinking they're going to talk all about green policies. And the European leaders are in the process of trying to do a deal with Israel to get natural gas from Israel. They're in the midst of trying to work around their dependence on Russia for natural gas. And the Biden administration is going in blithely thinking they're going to sell them, windmill and solar fairy dust.
Yeah.
And the EU leaders are even saying no.
Okay, Rick, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Rick Manning, president of Americans for Limited Government.